Great to have you with us. Now, doctors at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital have successfully amputated the rotten arm of the 5-year-old boy whose stepmother accidentally inflicted cutlass wounds on him. Meanwhile, the 25-year-old heavily pregnant and nursing mother, together with her husband, are still in police custody. Richard has been speaking to the doctors who treated the boy this morning.
So I'm just walking out of the recovery ward at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, where the 5-year-old boy is currently recovering after the medical surgery that was done. Now the boy's left arm has been removed. It's been amputated. The boy, about 3 days ago, walked to this facility with all 2 arms. But sadly, he's going to leave this facility with only an arm. Medical doctors that carried out the surgery say it requires a lot of psychological and emotional support for the child to put up, looking at the trauma he's experienced over a few weeks ago. When I walked in, the child was asleep. Doctors say that he's gone through a lot and he needs to be in this facility in order to recuperate very well before the child would be discharged from this hospital. We have been speaking with the medical social worker here at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Felicia Tete, and she is asking for support, financial support, because the boy needs to get back to school, and at least if the general public would help in getting the boy some prosthetic hands, it will be in order.
Just a sad story. But we are still liaising with our district social worker officers to solicit for funds so that philanthropists can come in, because we are still soliciting for funds. As for the mother, we don't even know the whereabouts, so we still need support from philanthropists so that we can all come together as a team and support this church financially. Financially, social welfare, we are handicapped. We don't have money for that, but we are trying our best. So we are pleading with the public that if God touches their heart and they want to support these charities, hands are open, and our doors are open to welcome them.
The boy would have to also continue his education and that kind of support. Now he came to the hospital with 2 hands, and now he'll be leaving the hospital with just an arm. What kind of support beyond the financial support would you play, or would you require that these children, the child is taken?
Yeah, thank you. For now, we as the I'm the medical social worker here, assistant. So we will liaise with the district social worker to contact any of the relatives. First, we make sure the child will be enrolled into school after this thing has been settled. Then we'll see how best financially we can assist. We have policies that we can use to support this child. So we are still, but all we need is a distant relative that will entrust the child into his care for now. Then we see the child is okay, then we will see the way forward.
I have been speaking with the district police commander, DSP Paul Akonde. He confirms that the two, the father of the child and then the stepmom of the child, are still in their custody. They are, however, preparing them for court. So when they go to court, then the issue would be decided whether the court will grant them bail for more investigations to be done.
Now, Richard, our man on the beat, joins us live via Skype with the details. Richard, have you had the chance to see the boy since the surgery ended and see how he's doing?
Well, I walked in around 9 o'clock, a few minutes after the surgery was done, and the boy was still sleeping. The medical doctors that carried out the operation told the boy would continue to be in that situation for some time now, and they would have to also to be in the recovery ward for him to recover fully. So he will spend some few days in the hospital before the hospital discharges him.
Are the parents still in police custody? I mean, the father and the stepmother?
Yes, Efwa Bedua, the stepmom, and then Kojo Mensah, the father, who is a Pamwan Tapa, are still in police custody. I've spoken with the district police commander for Abrasi Bukamakese, DSP Paul Akwende, and he told me that they would be in custody. They are preparing them for court. And the court will, however, grant them bail based on what the prosecution will say. Already, you know that the mother has already been charged for causing harm, but the father has been held for being an accessory to the crime, and so he is assisting them in their investigation. So whatever comes out, because of the condition of the stepmom, she is pregnant and is nursing a baby, so they will hear what the court will say about it.
We understand the stepmother is claiming that this was an accident and she was rather beating the boy with the cutlass. How is the police factoring this into their investigations?
Well, the stepmom has not indicated that this was an accident. It was a punishment she intended meting out to the boy, and he successfully meted out the punishment to the boy. So there hasn't been any case where the mother has stated, especially in the statement she granted the police, that it was purely an accident. The cutlass was aimed at the boy. The boy was the target, and the boy wanted to dodge, and eventually the left arm of the boy was affected by the cutlass. So it wasn't an accident, according to, accident, because the woman has not claimed that the thing was an accident anyway. She has admitted to doing that.
So what have police been telling you about the progress of the case?
Well, because the woman is pregnant, and yesterday the baby she was nursing had to be given to her mother. You know, the mother of the stepmom of the child.
Richard.
The stepmother is still in their custody. Yeah.
Right, so the stepmother is still in police custody. I'm seeing video now of a man in handcuffs, the father of the boy, and he's crying. Is he showing any remorse for what happened? Is he giving any sort of explanation for what happened?
So what you see in the video was yesterday when he came to sign the consent form. The doctors and the other people sat with him and indicated to him that, well, he needed to sign the consent form. So after signing, admitting that, well, he is in for the sign of the consent form, he was handcuffed. And so that was when he started crying, that it dawned on him that something had indeed happened. Yesterday, it took him some 30 minutes before he granted consent. He was asking the doctors whether something apart from the amputation could be done. But the doctor said that that was the only option available, because the child's arm was fast decomposed and already even decomposed.
So he was sad because his son's arm had to be cut off?
Exactly, because he had to judge all with them. But when the reality dawned on him that, yes, indeed, that is the only available option, he had to make them go ahead.
Right. Thank you, Richard Kojonyako, for that update there. Stay tuned to Joy News for the latest on that story. Now, there was drama in Parliament on Wednesday as two members engaged in a shouting match on the floor of the House before sitting began. Some members of Parliament had to physically restrain Asin Central MP Kennedy Ejapong from confronting colleague member for Asawase Muntaka Mubarak for referring him to the Privileges Committee. Now, after exchanges between the two that saw Kennedy Ejapong insult Mr. Muntaka, the Asin Central MP told Muntaka he would take him on in tree. Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku Gakpo joins us on the line. Joseph, what exactly happened?
We gather that the exchanges actually began outside the chamber in front of the Speaker's lobby when the two men met, and there was some level of confrontation over the issue of the referral of the Assistant Central MP to the Privileges Committee when he was approached, when he approached Muntaka Mubarak and raised the issue. And so both of them separated, and then Muntaka Mubarak had taken a seat in the chamber. So ourselves were right in the chamber even before sitting began when Kennedy Japan walked in. Himself and some of the MPs on the majority side were having a conversation on the majority front bench. And then he raised his voice, pointing at Muntaka Mubarak, speaking to him directly from the other side of the bench, the minority side, using the F word on him, calling Muntaka Mubarak an animal, indicating that he will match him boot for boot on the issues that have come up, indicating that he's ready for Muntaka Mubarak, and making the point that Muntaka Mubarak should tell Ghanaians what exactly happened when he became a minister and how come he left. Kennedy Japan made the point that he will match Muntaka Mubarak, and even as he was restrained, in fact, some of the members of parliament on the majority side restrained him and were taking him out of the chamber. He said that he wasn't done yet and that he would be back to do a lot more. Muntaka Mubarak responded from the other side, telling Kennedy Japan that if he's calling him a fool, he's going to show him where exactly power lies. That continued for well close 2 minutes until eventually some of the MPs managed to escort Kennedy Japan out of the chamber, and then everything calmed down eventually.
And it's clear from the exchange, Joseph, that this is about Mr. Muntaka reporting or recommending that Mr. Japan is referred to the Privileges Committee of Parliament.
Exactly so. Kennedy Japan made the point that he's ready to address the issue and that he was going to, defend himself, and he was ready to actually match Muntaka Mubarak on the issue. And in fact, we gathered that the same issue had actually triggered a conversation even before the two of them entered the chamber from different entrances, and looked like it was a continuation of the earlier, confrontation that the two of them had right in front of the Speaker's lobby before then it all went in there and they continued the exchanges. I've been seeking some clarity from the leadership of Parliament. Particularly, I've been speaking to the Vice Chair of the Privileges Committee about this particular incident, and indicates that as far as he is concerned, it's not been brought to their attention officially. It's not been brought to the attention of Parliament itself officially. It happened before sitting began. And so for now, there is nothing that the Privileges Committee can do about it in terms of an investigation or looking into it until it's been brought officially to their attention, so that then they will deal with it. As I speak to you, the House, after sitting began, there was a statement on the killing of journalist Ametwale, and right now the House is considering the right to information bill. But as I speak to you, both MPs are actually not on the floor. Muntaka Mubarak passed through the sitting a little earlier in the morning until eventually he exited. Kennedy Japan is also not on the floor as I speak to you. As to what exactly has occasioned that, we are not sure.
Thank you, Joseph Opoku Gakpo, for that update. You're still watching Joy News today. My name is Daniel Dazi. Now, an expert in animal embryology and physiology is recommending medical monitoring for 3 boys reportedly forced to eat uncooked chicken at Akomadan in Ashanti region. Dr. Joseph Alhassan Hamidu says the students could be harboring some bacteria which may take time to incubate and pose a health risk. A video in circulation shows 3 teenagers believed to be students of Akomadan Senior High School eating raw chicken under the watchful eyes of elderly persons who accuse them of stealing the fowl. Police have since arrested the suspects, who are captured in the footage threatening and mocking the children as they ate the chicken. Nane Aljima has more in the following report.
Salmonella and E. coli are 2 common bacteria in chicken and raw meat, which experts say cannot be removed by washing. Dr. Hamidu explains dangers the students are exposed to.
Bacteria may need time to incubate before they can cause any infection. But it's not necessarily that for eating the raw meat, they will be sick, because bacteria or microorganisms, before they can cause disease or sickness in our bodies, have to reach a threshold level. So when we take medications or we treat them, we actually bring their levels down below the threshold level where they are not capable of causing disease. So if the threshold level of these bacteria have exceeded, or they incubate with time and no precaution is taken by these people, it can cause them to be sick with time.
He acknowledges a common practice in Japan where people eat raw fish, which he says is harmless, though a few Ghanaians will try it.
And that is totally different from meat, like beef, chicken, pork, and how much blood is in the fish. And these bacteria or these microorganisms actually flow through blood. And blood is the perfect media for the survival of these bacteria. And fish hasn't got that much. So just the meat and the water, they don't got the. But fish contains certain parasites which can affect the host if you eat them. So you have to be sure that those parasites, like the worms and all those things, they are not contained in the fish.
4 people are in police custody for allegedly forcing 3 boys to eat an uncooked chicken they allegedly stole. 40-year-old Prince Edu, 57-year-old teacher Francis Osei, and Abubakari Anaba were aided by community policing assistant Peter Owusu Odiomi to perpetrate the act. 2 of them were captured handcuffed in the course of the ordeal, and one of them water to push the staff down his throat. Sources say the incident occurred in December last year after all 3 students failed to go home and pitched camp in the town when school had vacated. Only one of the 3 victims has given a statement to police, though he has shown no sign of illness. Meanwhile, police PRO ASP Godwin Ahianyo reveals no case of stealing has been brought against the students, adding the focus now is the ordeal they were subjected to.
You know, they are juveniles, and in law we have a way of handling juveniles. That is, children under 18 years who are in conflict with the law, we have a way of handling them. But for now, let us handle this inhumane treatment meted out to them by this 4 suspects that we've arrested. And our understanding is that there are others also involved, and making everything possible to get them also arrested and then put all of them before court to serve as a deterrent to others, because we need not to entertain some of these behaviors in society.
Nana Ojima reporting.
Still live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. Still up ahead in the bulletin, rail transport returns after an almost 2-year shutdown on the Accra-Tema line. More on that when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, after an almost 2-year shutdown, the Accra-Tema rail service is back to life. Beginning today, passengers will enjoy a free ride for 2 weeks between Tema and Accra. On Tuesday, January 29, the sector minister relaunched the service at a ceremony in Accra. But one thing was eminent: activities of encroachers. From livestock to clothing and even eateries, squatters have virtually taken over the space along the rail line. So how is the ministry dealing with the situation? Sandra Esenamafenu joined Joe Gate for a ride yesterday to experience the return of rail transport to the capital.
So one of the reasons why you postponed the reopening date is because of activities of encroachers along the railway lines. And so from what you've seen today, has the situation improved? If it's not improved, what's the way forward?
Well, we are about to enter the west part of it. The Tema part of the line is not that bad. The Accra part that leaves much to desire. I'm here with the mayor of Accra. I mean, we have to do something about it. If I say the situation has not improved, then I'm not telling the truth, because they used to be on the line. Yes, at least they are not on the line; they are next to the line. But it's dangerous, and so we are going to do a number of things, including looking at the possibility of fencing. If we go to Secondary Takrady, Kujoko, there's a fence there. There's a fence and a wall. So we are looking at all options.
What type of fencing is it going to be?
There are people who argue against walls. That when you create a wall, you create the opportunity for people to jump the wall and do all kinds of things within the wall. So there are a lot of people who favor rather a fence where you can look through. Look, we are going to do a multiple of things: fencing, cameras, people, and so we have to protect the line.
Do we know how much this wall is going to cost us, or the fencing is going to cost us?
I don't want to get to the problem Donald Trump has gotten into.
Why not?
Because that's one. Because why not? Because government has closed down in America because of a wall. I don't want to start costing walls and things like that. But I say that's one of the options we are looking at. All of it will be costed.
What's the progress of work on the other rail, the western and then the eastern rail lines?
Tema Burkina. And as I speak, our consultants are on the line doing the final designs, the demarcation, and so on. The entire length of the line is 1,300 kilometers. Accra to Akosombo and Pakadan, it's about 100 kilometers. So there's about 1,200 kilometers left to be done. And so the people who are doing the final designs on it are saying that they will take 8 months to do the design. We went to inform the chiefs and so on, so when they see a stranger and coat on the line, they don't get too excited. Also at the same time, concurrently, we're inviting people to come and join us on a BOT basis. We started with 16 companies. We shortlisted to 12. And the 12 have also been asked to bring what we call a request for qualification, and they are bringing more information so we can shortlist further. Hopefully, by the time we reach the last stage of the procurement, people who are doing the feasibility, the design, the drawings, the financials also are finished. So we can use that as a basis to sort of review or evaluate the proposals. The eastern line is what we are on. The eastern line is Accra, Tema, and also to Kumasi. We started with over 100 companies. Then we shortlisted to 45. Then we shortlisted to 25. And now we shortlisted to 6. The 6 companies, the process of procurement, you open what they call the technical proposals before you score it, and then before you open the financials. The financials will be open this week. So we've reached the last stage. After the financials are open, the one which we recommend, we'll take it to Cabinet. Cabinet approves, then we start negotiation. We finish the negotiation, they start construction. That is BOT. The cost of the project is about 1.8 billion. The proposal is that government will take at least 30% of it. Government will either take it for itself or will offer it to Ghanaians. We want Ghanaians to participate in that project. So that project, it is my sincere hope that within the first quarter, we would have chosen the preferred partner. The Western Line, the Ghana Railway Company Limited is working on the narrow gauge. This is a narrow gauge, it's not a standard gauge. It's working on the narrow gauge and it's working under traffic. What it means is that it's working while the train is moving.
Why are we getting funding for all these projects in the railway sector? And how much can we say that, okay, if you want to transform the rail sector, this is the amount it's going to cost us to do that?
Let's cost a kilometer of rail between 3 million and 5 million. Or even 3 million and 6 million, depending on whether it's electric or diesel, depending on the obstacles you meet on the way and so on. So let's give it an average of 4 million. Over 2,000 kilometers. If you times it by 4, it's $8 billion. Me and you know that the government of Ghana does not have $8 billion sitting down to go into rail. So we are using a number of financial models. We are using the BOT, where we invite people to come and join with us, build, operate, and transfer.
So you seem to be taking a lot of cue and support from South Africa. Somewhere in 2015-16, they had serious issues with their rail system at the point they needed a bailout. When it comes to cost and pricing for the ordinary Ghanaian, don't you think that we will get to a point where we'll need some financial injection into the train sector? Because if you price it high, it's going to collapse it, and you need to price it a certain way that can make the company, the railway, the managers also make some money.
It's a very good question you asked me. I mean, all over the world, not only South Africa, even if you go to England, the question of pricing on train and so has become an issue. I mean, the Labour Party talks about what to do when it comes to pass. So, in Ghana...
More on that story in later bulletins. Now, the Pantine Hospital here in Accra has begun discharging new mothers 6 hours after delivery, as dusty roads around the facility increase fears of respiratory infections for babies born there. Now, the hospital says international best practice demands that a healthy baby stays for at least 24 hours. But doctors at the hospital are worried long periods of exposure to dust could lead to infections in the new babies. In the following report, Nancy Emefa Jwadosi tells a story about how new mothers and their babies are coping with the situation.
The dust from the rutted and almost impassable road leading to one of Ghana's biggest mental health facilities presents a daily nightmare here. Everywhere in this hospital has been battered by dust. The floors, computers, and even baby cots have been covered in dust.
All our bedsheets are brown now. They are white, but because of the dust, we don't lay them unless we have a client, then we lay them. The whole place is dusty. We, the staff here, we always report there. It's either you are having chest pain, it's either you are having cold or the respiratory tract infection. If you go to OPD right now, it's stopping.
According to doctors, healthy full-term babies can usually go home from the hospital sometime between 24 and 48 hours after birth. But here at Pantine, nurses are forced to discharge the babies within the first 6 hours after delivery.
If you have a baby here, a 1-day-old baby, a newborn here, and all this dust, it will cause them respiratory infections. We normally discharge them after 6 hours if everything is okay.
Doris Darko had a rough ride to this facility when her water broke this morning.
If you say, me see me try a crana canning to me perform to me to me yam me to me be because of a foot on me to me be my numpo and young home.
This is the road at the Pantine Hospital, and guess what? All this dust is going to one place, very, very close to the maternity block here at the Pantine Hospital, where Madame Doris is sleeping with her newly born baby that was born just about 5 to 6 hours ago. She delivered at 8:30 a.m. and already she's getting ready to leave the facility with her newborn baby, Abena. This really disturbs Doris.
I've said time now say me coffee no because of way no. Pese omo unitem. Ebiana me ko drufe na yare bi asa ye yafe na mesa esan 5 photo no mo asan ba biom se omo hwe me.
There have been efforts in the past to get the roads fixed, but according to director for the Pantine Hospital, Dr. Frank Benin, the contractor working on the project has not been on the site for a few months now.
I must say that urban roads have been good to us in the past. Our internal road network wasn't meant to be part of the original work that is ongoing. We discussed with them, and they were flexible enough to add our internal road networks to it. Since we saw that the work has stopped, we've tried reaching them to find out, what is going on, and they keep telling us it will be done this year. So, why it hasn't been done, we haven't been told, but at least we continue to get assurance that something will be done about it. The contractor who started it, yes, we've engaged them. They used to be around here. They had their vehicles at the gate, and they have the chippings at the entrance as well. And we engaged them, and they keep telling us they are still engaging government, and then the work will be done. But as to the reason why the works have stopped, I don't know.
For as long as the roads at Pantine Hospital remain dusty and untarred, healthcare delivery at the facility will continue to take a bit hit. Nancy Emefa Jadosi, Joy News.
And I am Daniel Dazi. This is Joy News Today. Daryl Call comes your way next with business, and he will tell you how government is calling for support as it implements the first port rule to check smuggling of goods. Stay with us. He will bring you the details.